Welcome back to my channel, Saving with Christina. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I love helping people spend less and save more money. And a lot of my videos specifically focus on how you can save money at the grocery store. And with the current cost of food rising and seems to be getting higher and higher lately, I felt like this topic was especially relevant. So today in this video, I'm going to talk with you about ways that you can save at the grocery store without using coupons. I have a ton of tips that I can give you on how to save at the grocery store, but this is just part one of the Grocery Hack series. So I will be giving you 5 tips today on how you can save at the grocery store. And yes, these are actually things that I do month to month to help save my family money. So whether you decide to go all in and incorporate all of these strategies or just choose the few that work best for you, I'm hoping that using these tips will help you start to see savings on your monthly grocery bill. Okay, so tip number 1 is super important, and I feel like it's a really good place to start. Know the items that you're purchasing most frequently and the average price point of that item. We tend to be creatures of habit. We tend to buy, at least in my family, the same items over and over and over again because those are the items that we like. So if you know that item X costs you $2.50. When you see that price drop below $2.50, you know it's a time to stock up on that item. So if you see that box of pasta that you know you guys love and the price went from $1 a box and it dropped down to 50 cents a box with a store sale, now's the time to buy a bunch of them and save them for when you need them. Now, you do have to be careful not to eat more just because you have the items at home, but I do think that this tip helps save money in the long run because you're getting items that you purchase month to month at a lower cost and then saving them for when you need them. Tip number 2 is kind of a 2-part tip. You want to know where the clearance section is in your store. In my experience, almost every grocery store or superstore like Walmart and Target, they have at least one dedicated clearance section or an end cap or an aisle where they keep items that they are marking down. So if you don't know where that section is, find it. It is totally okay to ask a store employee, hey, do you have a specific spot where you keep clearance items? And likely they will show you or tell you where that section is. And while you have your new favorite employee there, ask them if there's a specific schedule to their markdowns. I know different stores mark down on different days or at different times. So knowing the store that you shop at in particular, their markdown schedule will help you save in the long run. So I know my local grocery store, not only do they have a specific clearance section, it is different depending on which store I'm in, but they also tend to mark down on Mondays. So I know that. So if I'm planning my shopping trip, I know that if possible, I want to try to sneak in on a Monday because they likely have some new markdowns. Speaking of markdowns, that brings me to tip number 3. Look for markdowns on items like meat and produce. When stores see that items are approaching their expiration date, they will mark them down. Now, I am not telling you to buy funky food. These items are still good. They are just approaching their expiration date. So I know at my local grocery store, I've also seen this at Walmart, I've seen it at Target. As that meat and produce start to approach the expiration date, they will mark it down half off, 30% off, even 75% off, and you can realize some really good savings on those products. So if you don't have a need for that product right away, so you see that the ground turkey is 75% off, but you know you're not going to make it, that's something that freezes really easily. So think about buying the items and then freezing them. Produce and meat will freeze easily for you. Your other option is to just plan your meals for that week or the next couple of days around what you are able to find on clearance at the grocery store. I am loving how each tip leads to the next tip. And as I'm saying this, I'm reminding myself of why I should be doing this next thing. Tip number 4 double a recipe, and freeze half of it for later. From both a health and a money standpoint, I prefer to eat at home. Now, I do love going out to restaurants. I love trying new foods, but I know that I'm going to eat healthier and save more money when I eat at home. So when you are out grocery shopping, look for items that freeze well or recipes that freeze well and start to try that at home. So if this is a completely new concept for you, maybe just try this once per month or once per week. But Christina, how does this relate to saving money at the grocery store? Thanks so much for asking. When you see those meat and veggie items marked down on clearance, hello tip number 3, buy extra and use those items to make a meal and double it. That way you're getting both the grocery savings on the marked down products as well as the time and convenience savings as well. I'm not gonna lie, I am not a big fan of cooking, but I am a huge fan of healthy eating, saving time, and saving money. So if I am able to double a recipe, that means I am not having to wash the dishes twice, get out all the kitchen supplies twice, make just a mess of the kitchen that I then have to clean up twice. It happens once and I get 2 meals out of it. And it's especially convenient for those nights when you've been out and it would be super convenient to just pop in and grab some takeout, but you know you already have an option that is healthier and cheaper sitting in your freezer ready to be cooked for the evening. The last tip that I want to mention for you today, tip number 5, is something that I feel like needs to be mentioned. People often say buy in bulk. I'm not so sure that's accurate. You want to buy at the lowest price per unit or the lowest price per ounce, and the grocery store makes this crazy simple to determine. So have you ever stood there looking at like a bag of frozen corn and you're like, okay, do I buy the 8-ounce bag or do I buy this like 24-ounce bag? Which one is going to save me more money in the long run? Well, the little tags at the grocery store actually tell you which one is the lowest cost per ounce or the lowest cost per unit. And so you want to be looking at those numbers when you make your decision. Obviously, you have to think about, will I eat this much or do I have the storage space for this? But what I'm mostly looking at is which product do I purchase that's going to save me the most money over time. If I know it's a product that I eat and buying the bigger bag is going to save me money, that's the one I'm going to go for. And a lot of times I've found that buying the bigger package is not the cheaper option. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. You would think that buying in bulk or buying a bigger package of something would save you more money, but it's not always the case. So obviously, don't buy the more expensive product, buy more of the less expensive product. So like I mentioned before, this is just part 1 of my tips for saving at the grocery store without using coupons. That means I will be coming back at you with more tips in later videos. But in the meantime, if you'd like to check out some inexpensive meal ideas, I have 2 different videos right now. One is a $5 dinner video. The other is 21 meals for $20. So if you're looking for some frugal dinner ideas, I will drop the link to those videos down in the video description box below. If you have amazing ways you save at the grocery store, I would love to hear what you do. Drop those ideas for me down in the comments because I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Thanks.